Hi friends, I am coming at you today with some cards that I made yesterday, and I apologize. I had created a process video for these cards, but the footage was corrupted, so I wasn't able to upload it. So I thought I would just show you a little bit of what this is and what stamp sets I'm using, and then if we have time, I'll perhaps do the background at least, but maybe not everything in the card process. So the first thing is the large trees that are on this come from a penny black set that's called Snowy Village. And it has the two trees, and then it has like a little church and a village, but I didn't use that. Instead, I used the deer from the Blue Knight rubber stamp set called Mama Bear and Friends. So you see the deer, male and female deer. That's what I used instead. And then for the thank you, I used a sentiment from Painted Greetings, which is from Alt New. I don't even know if this set's still available, but that's where I got the thank you because I wanted something bold. So what I did basically was I used my Misty and put the stamps in the corner, and then I took a piece of masking paper, and this is my moon. So my first part of this process was I used pan pastels to create the background. So let's just focus on the background here. You see it goes from purple to pink to blue to white, right? This one too, there's purple, some pink, some blue, white. And this is the one I made first, purple, not so much pink, but some blue, and then white. Okay. So the pan pastels that I used were from Blue Knight rubber stamps, and my purple was the violet. My pink was the magenta. My blue was turquoise. I used white at the bottom, and then I went in with colorless blender. And that's how I created the background. Once I was done with the, and I used this stencil. The stencil is from Blue Knight rubber stamps. It's a two-part stencil. It can be used for clouds or for hills. And I use this a lot. Okay, so I just laid the stencil down, went in with my pan pastels, and then when I had all the colors laid down, I went in with the colorless blender. The second step was to stamp the image in my Misty. So using some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, I inked up the image, and then I stamped it right on top of that mask. And you can see the deer are down here at the bottom. And then I inked it up again and stamped it again a couple times. That kind of took me a couple tries, all right? Then I used my other stamp positioner so I wouldn't have to take the stamps out of this one because I'm making more than one. I actually made 4 cards altogether. But one I already sent out to a very special friend of mine, so she should be getting that next week, and I hope that she likes it. So, anyways, the sentiment thank you is in here and ready to go. So once this panel dries, it can be removed, placed on this positioner, and then stamped with VersaFine Clair. Or what I did was I stamped it with embossing ink, and then I embossed it with Bruce Monroe Raven Sparkle. So that is one fantastic embossing powder. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but gives you a really nice variety of sparkle, almost iridescent in there. That's Brutus Monroe Raven Sparkle. And that's what I used on that sentiment. Same with this one. Okay, then once you're done with that, you would then go ahead and stamp your thank you. Then once you're done with that, I took and I used a heat gun to make sure that all the black ink was dry. And I trimmed it down. And the size I trimmed it down to is 5 by 5. And then I put it on a piece of cardstock, 5.5 by 5.5, which makes us a nice square card. I've already sent one out to a very dear friend of mine that I've known since elementary school. I sent another one out to another newer friend of mine who recently gifted me with some really cool, free, gently used stamps and some new foils. So those cards should be in the hands of those folks really soon. And that's it. I just trimmed it down. I used a corner chomper to make the corners rounded. I really like the way this turned out. I think these penny black silhouette stamps are gorgeous, and I plan on making more. But I don't know about you, but I think this moon is the star of the show on this card and really grabs your attention. Oh, and then I sprayed it with Krylon sealant to make sure that the pastels didn't smear. All right, well, I will post the products that I used down below in the description box. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will see you next time when we make a card together. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.